Time, I'd like to call the City of Bowie regular City Council meeting of Tuesday, September the 3rd, 2024 to order. It is now 8 p.m. If you would, all who are able, please rise with me as we do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, Madam City Clerk, Assistant City Clerk, would you please make sure that we have a quorum for the record?
Yes, Mayor, we do have a quorum tonight. Present in chambers, we have Councilmember Estev, Councilmember Rogers, Mayor Pro Tem Wolfley, Mayor Adams, and Councilmember Brady.
Thank you. At this time, I would open the floor. Are there any agenda additions, deletions, or amendments? Hearing none, we'll move forward to citizen participation. Mr. Les Konitz.
Thank you. Well, hello, everybody. I had an opportunity to look into this budget and at the organization chart, which is very interesting. At the top of the organization chart, as you know, it says Citizens of Bowie, which I am one of. Okay. Let me talk about a concept that was a major speaking point by one of our past presidents, and that is transparency, okay? It's my opinion that I think we could get treated better than we are being treated by our county. And I say that because in February of this year, Mayor Adams, City Manager Lott, and our Director of Planning, Joe, what's his name? Joe Minor, thank you. Went down to the county and basically asked the county to give us better, more of a say in zoning and land use, and nothing became of that. And there was one person that spoke up very vehemently against that. His name was Mel Franklin, and Mel Franklin is no more. And I am not shedding any tears over that. But what I would like to see is this council request an accounting from the county that would provide information of how much each municipality pays into the county, and how much we get back, and how much each municipality gets back from the county. I doubt if we'll ever see that, but that's a nice piece of transparency that I would like to see. It might give us an opportunity to better support our county council member, Ingrid Watson, who I think we are very lucky to have. So I will ask if you would kindly look into that for me. I would appreciate it. You can see this on the national level through the GAO. You can find out how much each state pays into the country and how much they get back from the federal government. So it would be nice information to have. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll see you again.
We will now move on to presentations. I don't believe we have any this evening. Okay, we will now get to city boards and committees. Mr. Miguel Rios was interviewed on August 5th, 2024, for appointment to the Green Team Executive Committee. Council concurred to appoint him to the committee as a youth member for a 2-year term. Council Member Rogers, would you like to make that move to appoint him, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second. It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor, please respond with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same favor. Hearing none, motion carries. Secondly, Ms. Addie Kanu was interviewed on August 5th, 2024 for appointment to the Education Committee. Council concurred to appoint her to the committee as a regular member for a 2-year term. At this time, I would like to move to appoint her.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second. All in favor, please respond with an aye. Aye. Opposed, same favor. Hearing none, motion carried. Would you two please come forward? All the way up, come on. Well, you can stand, I'm gonna swear you in first. You can come right here and just hold your hand out. Okay, on that side is fine too. Both of you at the same time. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. Say, I state your name.
I, Adiato Kanu,
Do swear or affirm
do swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and that I will be faithful
and I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland,
and support
and support
the Constitution and laws thereof,
the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of and state
execute the
committees.
office of
Youth member of
Education Committee
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of this state.
and laws of this state.
Congratulations. Please come forward. Please come forward. Please come forward. Here you go, Ms. Kuhn. This is for you. And congratulations. Thank you. All right.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Rios?
Congratulations.
Here you go, young man. Congratulations. And thank you. And I'd like to say in advance, thank you both for your service.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Congrats.
Thank you. At this time, we will move for council announcements. Councilwoman Rogers?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a short announcement to make. And this is my statement on strategic planning. During the fiscal year 2024-25 Bowie budget development process, I requested a budget objective for a strategic planning initiative. Strategic planning is critical for municipalities for the following reasons. Strategic planning helps municipalities define a clear long-term vision for the community. Municipalities often operate with limited resources, including budgets, personnel, and time. Strategic plans allow prioritization of projects and initiatives and allocation of resources more efficiently. Through strategic planning, municipalities can assess the current state of public services, identify areas of improvement, and develop plans to enhance delivery. A strategic plan can outline strategies for economic growth, attracting businesses, and creating jobs. Strategic planning often involves input from residents, businesses, and other stakeholders. This process helps build a sense of ownership and community engagement as people see their voices are being heard and their needs are being addressed. A strategic plan helps municipalities anticipate potential challenges and risk. A strategic plan provides a framework for measuring progress and holding municipal leaders accountable. By setting clear goals and benchmarks, municipalities can track their performance and report on their successes and challenges, promoting transparency and trust with the public. Strategic planning encourages collaboration among municipal leaders, different departments, and committees. Strategic planning allows municipalities to incorporate sustainability into their long-term vision, ensuring that growth and development occur in a way that preserves resources for future generations. Strategic planning can help municipalities stay ahead of legal and regulatory challenges or changes. By anticipating future requirements, municipalities can ensure they remain compliant with laws and regulations, avoiding legal issues. In closing, strategic planning is a critical tool for municipalities to guide growth, improve services, and create a thriving and resilient community. Thank you for the opportunity to share this. Wanda Rogers. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any other, Councilman Brady?
Thank you, Mayor. 3 quick items. Just reporting last Monday, you and I and Councilwoman Endominato attended the Friendship Aspire Academy welcoming their students, and it was a very enjoyable day, and it's always nice to see the bright eyes of the kids as they come on their first day of school. And some of those kids had backpacks that were as big as they were. Fortunately, there was nothing in them yet. So. And then later, you and I, Mr. Mayor, attended Point Ridge Elementary School, where the Educational Systems Federal Credit Union presented the school with a contribution for their newly established autism wing. I think they're to be commended for that action and to be supported. A second item, this past Saturday, August 31st, we lost a longtime establishment in Old Bowie. After 18 years of operation, Old Bowie Town Grill closed its doors, and it'll be sorely missed. Teresa, the owner, and the staff will be greatly missed, and they did a great job. She was always there to welcome you with a warm smile and a friendly hug. They were sold to Diamond Foundation, which is the Bowie-Mitchellville alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, and I understand they're going to establish that as a mentoring facility for. So that it's a trade-off. We're going to lose a restaurant, but we're going to get something probably of equal value, so that was nice. And then the last item is the ICSC kicked off this evening. I know Mr. King is there setting up and getting ready for the events, and 5 of us are slated to attend there tomorrow. And I am hopeful that we can secure commitments from the businesses and developers to come to Bowie. And it's unfortunate Mr. Councilman S. Steve can't join us because he starts a new job tomorrow. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Any other comments? Hearing none, I would like to say coming up this weekend, I believe, is Grandparents' Day. And so I would like to congratulate all of the grandparents and those who function in that role and wish them the very best, because we know that's part of that legacy, that teaching, that learning, and that loving. So to all the grandparents and those who play the role of grandparents, happy Grandparents' Day in advance.
You forgot babysitting.
Well, that's a part of the loving part. There you go. Thank you. All right, we will now move on to the city manager's report.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Trust everyone had a very enjoyable Labor Day weekend. It is a sign of the end of summer, but of course we're not fully at the end of summer yet. I would like to remind folks that our early hours for putting out your trash will continue through the end of September. So please continue with that. It has been very successful, and our employees and appreciative of having the earlier schedule in these hotter months. One other item I wanted to mention, fall is the beginning of some new events for us. And coming up on September 14th, we will have the International Festival at Allen Pond Park. Yes, the International Festival is back. It had been part of another event for the past couple of years, but it is coming back as a standalone event. So please check the City of Bowie website for more information on that. I believe it begins at 11 in the morning on Saturday September 14th. Just one other item to mention, Councilwoman Rogers mentioned the strategic planning. We did put out a survey this year asking some questions to aid the council in its strategic planning events. Wanted to thank all of the residents that participated in that. We got a very strong response to that survey. That information is getting compiled. It's going to be used in staff session for strategic planning, and that information is also going to feed into the city council session coming up as well. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. We will now move on to the consent agenda, and I'll open the floor to a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move to approve the consent agenda.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, please respond with an aye.
Aye.
And please remember, we do have an automated system for voting. We're good? Okay. In favor, aye. All opposed, same favor. Seeing none or hearing none, motion carries. We'd like to move on to old business at this time. And this is the adoption of Ordinance 0724, amending the adopted budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024, and ending June 30th, 2025, as embodied in Ordinance 0424, to appropriate funds for the following projects and grants: an additional $122,000 for the Public Arts Bowie sign project, $58,500 for energy efficiency and conservation strategy, additional grant funding to the Maryland Women's Business Center totaling $120,000, and funding for the Emergency Operations Center in the amount of $237,500. Are there any questions from council to staff?
I don't have any questions, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say I'm really grateful to staff for moving along the public sign project. I know that's been in the works for about 6 years. We've had a lot of delays related to the fact the state owns that tiny little portion that we needed. So thank you for moving forward. I cannot wait to hear all the public feedback about what we replaced the shrubs with, but at least it will be a different kind of feedback than the kind we've been hearing for the last several years. So thank you.
Thank you. Hearing that, I would like to at this time call the public hearing to order. Les Connors.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Could you lift the mic just a little bit?
Sure.
Thank you.
You sure you want to hear me? Okay. I just have some questions about this Women's Business Center and some things that I want to say about this. I mean, these grants are being paid by the entire, demographic of our city. But it is only available to a certain demographic within that system. So the thing is I think that what you're trying to do here is to get more retail in so that we can get more money into our system. Okay, more revenue. I think it would be wise to open this up to all demographics, to everybody that would require this kind of service. The other question I have is, do they charge for this service? I don't know that they do. I don't know that they don't. But we're putting a total of $140,000 into this system. And being that it's such a large amount of money, I would like to ask that we get some monthly reports with some metrics on it to see how well our money is being spent and see if we're getting any traction. I think they provide an important incubator and something that's badly needed. but I think it would be wise if we could open that up to not just women, but to anybody who's requiring help getting getting into a business. I know that it is really tough to get business going in this city, mostly because of the amount of bureaucracy that you have to deal with coming out of the county with permits and other things. And I think if we really want to move this along, we really want to get revenue in, we need to streamline that process somehow. And I think that my opinion is that after looking at the amount of departments within the county alone, there are so many that are just duplicative, and it's just the kind of thing that if they streamline it, I'm not saying that they should fire anybody or let anybody go, but I think they need to consolidate a lot of these departments, and I believe that the county will run better. It won't cost so much money, and it will make things like this so much easier to get going. The other thing is if you look at Mill Branch Crossing on that 301 meeting that we had, I mean, it was like 17 and a half years from the start to when they could actually break ground. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, how do you expect anybody to open a business, particularly any kind of large retail, when they have to go through that? Why should they come here? They'll go somewhere else where it's a lot easier and it's a lot more lucrative. So that's my opinion for what it's worth. But I really would like to see some sort of monthly reports to see how, see if we're really getting our money's worth on this, because it's an experiment.
This was first, but if you don't mind, Councilman Truesdale, do you mind if I address a couple of these issues in short order? I think there's a couple of things that was kind of mixed in there that you addressed that are all legitimate questions. Number one, I do believe that we require, as part of the grant process, that they do give us some metrics, a back of what the progress is, what we're doing, and that kind of thing. I think we have requested that of them with the grant, number one. Number two is, I think you're absolutely right when you talk about, as we're trying to make the city in particular even more inclusive, we're trying to give opportunities, for example, some of the women business owners who haven't traditionally had the doors open to them. But also, I think you hit on something that's even more pressing, and that is we need to be able to have a sense of self-determination for the city when it comes to land use. And that will be a part of that as well, because when you start talking about being able to get businesses up and running and being able to do it in an efficient and timely manner, a part of that is when cities like Bowie, who have the ability and the resources to do that, can take some of that load off and be able to process that better, not only from that standpoint, but also in seeing what the people and the citizens, residents of Bowie really want. So having said that, I agree with you on those as well. I think all of your points were well taken, and I think you've addressed them great. And at this time, if there's anything, Councilman Truesdale, since this was their request, you go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Les, for your request. As the mayor was saying, the metrics in terms of how the system or how the operation progressed through the year, it's been acted upon, and that is something that we look forward to have. Along with one of the key things is that it is open for men and women. It's just not for women in terms of the incubators and to start up the business. I think that is very important that, we as a city and as the mayor stated, we are in a position to be able to invest in a lot of our startup businesses, and we talk about economic development. We're going to have to really put skin in the game, coming from us in terms of making sure that we're investing in these small businesses and that they have a start. First 3 years, you don't know if you have a business or you have a hobby. But for the most part, this model has been proven in Rockville, and as our colleagues and I, some of our colleagues, we have went out there and shared their experiences. We look forward to getting all the information that's needed. 1/3 of the grant goes towards training and counseling. So I think that is definitely needed with future entrepreneurs as well. So I appreciate your advice.
Do people pay for this service if somebody comes in?
No, it's something. No, they don't. They sign up for it, and it's that they don't pay for it.
I know Council Member N.W. Mata has really taken on an enormous challenge to try and get retail into the county and into our city. And I have to admire her because that is like a really almost impossible thing to do with the kind of retail that she wants to get. So you got to admire that. One thing I want to say is I know one time you had said that you had started your business out of the trunk of your car.
That's correct.
And I have my mother, her 2 sisters, and my grandmother, who never had as much as a high school education, each one of them had individual businesses that did very, very well, and they had none of this. Now, the difference is that the bureaucracy that you have to deal with to get into a business today is significantly different than it was then. So
Yes.
I understand that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate everything you said.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Brady, you had a comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment that reference was made that with regard to Mill Branch Crossing, the 17 years wasn't the time it took to get permitting done. I think permitting was 2 to 3 years. The 17 years that Mr. Chesley was talking about was from the time he acquired the property till he decided what to do with it, till he started developing it with the vision, and then actually going and doing it. So that's the 17 years of his ownership, not 17 years of permitting. I just want to make that clarification.
Okay, thank you. All right, hearing no other speakers, at this time I declare the public hearing closed. I would ask that we have a motion, or open the floor for a motion to accept.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move to adopt Ordinance O-7-24, amending the adopted budget for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024, and ending June 30th, 2025, as embodied in Ordinance O-4-24 to appropriate funds as described.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, please respond with an aye. And again, we have an electronic. Aye. Opposed, same favor. Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you. At this time, I will entertain a motion as we have no new business.
Mr. Mayor,
Pardon me.
I'd like to
I'm
make a
sorry.
motion to adjourn to closed session under statutory authority of the Maryland Annotated Code, General Provisions, Article Section 3-305B, subparagraph 1, to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials of whom this public body has jurisdiction, or any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals. And 7, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice.
It's been moved and properly seconded, and before I call for the vote, I would like to acknowledge that our city manager has joined us via Zoom. Just wanted to make sure that we knew that he was participating.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and since I'm a grandfather, I'm looking forward to Grandpa's weekend. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion?
That makes my wife a crazy cat lady.
That's why we also. Moving right along. At this time, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, please respond with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same favor. Hearing none, motion carries. I'd like to say thank you to everyone, and we hope everyone had a very safe and enjoyable Labor Day weekend. And remember, it's the true workforce that makes this country what it is today. Thank you so very much. We will now go into